right, it's another episode of the Heat Tank here with Hamid Yaz, and the guest that I have today is super OG. Influential, not just Austin, Texas, but beyond. This guy has so much on his resume, under his belt, so many accomplishments in life, not just with real estate investments, with business, but culturally, some of the things that he's been a part of. So today, okay, y'all definitely need to tune into the entire episode. For all, especially the young hustlers that are starting with one thing, trying to figure out how to transition to the next, or being with one crowd of people but looking for the different crowd and whatever. Carlos Hernandez, a personal friend of mine from CH Customs, is going to talk about exactly what his story is, how it all happened, maybe even why transitions had to happen into getting these small checks into the bigger checks, and possibly even some of the real estate that he has recently sold or he went through over the years and such, decisions that were made. So no further ado, I'm going to introduce to y'all Carlos Hernandez of CH Customs, based out of the Austin, Texas, Round Rock area.
Thanks for having me here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Carlos, you have so much knowledge, game, information, tips, tricks, whatever you want to call it, of things that you've done over the years. I'm assuming a lot of money made, maybe a lot of money lost. But this show, obviously, we're talking about brands and business. And me and you have talked prior about sometimes people wanted to buy you, the personal brand. They wanted that product or that service from you. Probably didn't want it from an employee or somebody that you had. So the way I want to start this is to take it back some years first. When I personally met you, if I remember right, you had I don't know if it was a record and a t-shirt shop on Airport here in Austin, Texas. I'm sure probably a few years before that, were you operating out of your home, maybe just doing some t-shirts, maybe out of the garage, or how exactly did it all really start?
I started back in the days. It was probably about 99 when the whole Y2K thing was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess everything was like negative in my life. Everything was negative. So I was like, yeah, I need to do something, to change this up. And
the people you hung out with, or just the environment you were growing up with or around, or what exactly was the negativity, as far as, was it people or place?
It was just my attitude towards everything. I mean, I was a young kid, and it was just my attitude being around, the wrong crowd and all that stuff. So
yeah,
I was always into being positive, but in a negative atmosphere. So I'm like, what can I do to change this up?
Yeah.
Maybe get a job or do something. So that's what I went out, after I had a job doing at the Postal Service called National Presort.
Okay.
And also doing negative stuff while I'm there, and got caught up, went to jail and everything. So
wow.
I went to jail, and I was like, what exactly? When I went to jail, everything I do, I turn into a positive.
Okay.
I don't care what it is, everything
Yeah.
I do. So when I went to jail, I was looking, my mama cry when I'm going to jail and everything. So I'm like, what can I do to change this up? If I'm going to be doing negative things, I'm going to be like the biggest negative person. I was like, stupid stuff, going through my head. I was like,
what did Tupac say? You gonna do it big.
Yeah, so I'm like, all right, so I'm in jail and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, well, I got a felony, that's all in my background.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Years ago.
Yeah, so I guess dropped out of high school, senior, and dropped out of high school. And
Same here, by the way.
Yeah, did everything, that I wasn't supposed to be doing. And that was a life-changing experience, going to jail. Like I said, I turned everything negative to a positive. So I get out with a felony, I won't get hired, anywhere.
Nobody
wants to hire a felon. So I'm like, what do? I need to start a business or do something. I was always into making money, so I was like, let me make money legal now, instead of doing, dumb stuff. So I opened up a record shop, and that was on First Street, and that was in 2000. And the reason I opened up a record shop is because I was looking at the whole Screw movement and everything, DJ Screw. So I was like, let me open up a record shop and meet him and do business with him.
Yeah, because he died, was it 2001, I think he died?
Yeah, he passed away.
Yeah, passed away in 2001.
I want to say, 2001, 2000. So I opened up the record shop in 2000. A friend of mine, he wasn't a friend of mine then, but now he, DJ since, and his dad.
Raymond,
Yeah, his dad, RIP to his dad. They gave me the opportunity there on First Street on Cesar Chavez. So I was there, and Just that was when, like I said, the DJ Screw thing was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Never got to meet him. That was who I was influenced by to start my own business.
Yeah, it
I
was
saw
a
him
Texas thing. It was a Texas thing.
So, and then just going pretty much broke from there. You know, I had already, when I got out of jail, I asked my mom and dad, you know, I was like, who are you renting this house from, like, that we're living in? You know, I was 17 years old, 18 years old when I got out. And my dad, you know, he told me it's from, you know, he's my stepdad, so it's from his son. So I was like, well, tell him I want to buy it, you know, straight out of jail. So he never second guessed me. He never said, wow, you're just straight out of jail, you want to buy a house now? And I was like, well, tell him I want to buy it. And that's how really the whole real estate thing started.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm there, you know, and everything. So when I'm doing that, that's when I jump into, you know, like I said, the record shop. Because I have my own house. So I'm like, if anything fails, you know, I have a house that I can go and live in. You know, when everybody's renting apartments, they're like, why would you buy a old beat up house in the east side? Yeah. And I'm like, that old beat up house on the east side is going to be worth money. Your apartment's not going to be worth anything. So all the time, you know, I've been having that in my mind. Let me just make, you know, moves as a cushion, you know.
Yeah.
And like, I want to.
Well, let me ask you real quick, though. So was anybody, I don't want to say in your circle, but in your life, whether we said stepfather, I believe, right? Mm-hmm. Stepfather, mother, were they influential to help guide you? Like, hey, you might want to look at this, or you might want to look at that, or were they basically like, you do whatever you want to do, mijo? Like, it's your life, you do it, or did you have someone like a mentor or some kind of a morally influential person that was trying to guide you into doing better, or was it you just winging it?
I was just winging it, man. There was nobody that was, you know, nobody I can look up to or see, you know, or anything like that. Just as a kid, I remember T-shirts. There was a guy, Tony Gonzalez. Okay. He was making T-shirts at the local elementary school where I used to go to, Brook Elementary. And I just saw him, and I was like, I want to order some T-shirts. You know, I was a kid. I want to order some personal Scottie Pippen shirts. That's what I was saying. That's what I wanted to order. I want a 33 because everybody likes Jordan. I don't like Jordan. I said, I want a 33 Scottie Pippen. That's my favorite player. And he's like, yeah, I'll make you one. Never made me one. So I was like, later on, I'm like, man, I remember him doing, you know, the T-shirts. I want to do T-shirts. Yeah. And so that's what pretty much motivated me. Just my ideas, seeing other people. I didn't have anybody to really guide me. You know, my brother-in-law, you know, maybe was one of the persons that really I looked up to. You know, he does his own business and everything also. And that's probably one person that I look up to and talk to as a mentor. I mean, if it comes to that. But it was never...
What's the age difference, by the way?
I want to say at least 12 or 13 year age difference. Yeah, I'm 42 now. I'm about to be 42. Yeah. And I was 18 at the time. And yeah, but no, I can't say that I had anybody just tell me, guide me through everything. The reason I started the record shop was to kind of go against everything that everybody says you cannot do. You know, it's like every time I do something, it's always because people are saying you can't do it. And I'm like, anybody can do it. Yeah, yeah. I'm like, I'll show you, you know, anybody can do it. Well, shoot, I almost ate my words because I'm doing a record shop and went completely broke. Almost lost the house that I was buying, you know, on payments. It was, you know, and I almost lost that. My sister was in there living in there paying rent, you know, helping me pay the payment and stuff like that. So
it's like when you go to Mexico, business in the front, casa in the back.
That's what was going on. And that's what I had was a room in the back. You know, after a while, I built a room in the back because I wasn't living with my parents. They were, you know, they were in the house in front. I couldn't tell them leave, you know. Exactly. So I built something in the back and lived there. And that's going to come down later on in the story too as I'm going. So while I had the record shop going broke and everything, just losing money because nobody wanted to buy CDs. That's when all the Napster, LimeWire, and all that stuff was out. So everybody's just burning CDs. I remember. Yeah, they weren't buying CDs; they were burning CDs. So I meet a local T-shirt guy, and the T-shirt idea was still in my mind. So I meet a local T-shirt. I just go walk. Everybody I meet, I just run into their business. I don't ever call and let me set up a meeting. I just go straight into the business. And
early 2000s, I'm
this
assuming,
was in
maybe,
2000. I had my record shop in 2000. So in 2002. Okay. Is when I, you know, when I was already, you know, flat broke and I already closed the shop and everything. Yeah. Never lost my
grand opening, grand closing.
Yeah, real quick. It happens. Yeah, it happened real quick, and never lost my contact with, you know, Raymond, you know, the one that gave me the chance.
I know Raymond
there.
real well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Raymond of Capital Soul, holding it down, old school.
He ended up going to that record shop after I was. It was Backstage Music. Yep. So we always contacted. But in between all that, like I said, doing that, that's what really influenced me into doing T-shirts. I meet the local guy down the street. I go in there and meet the artist. The artist is like, he tells me, you know, anytime you want to come in here and start doing, this was when computers, graphics was way back, you know. It was people were like companies were doing graphics, but not a local street,
the local
street dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they
like, it
didn't.
wasn't doing no graphics.
We had
then.
no access to that.
Yeah,
yet.
there was no access. So he told me, he's like, I'll teach you whatever I know. And I was like, oh, great. His name was Gino. I never seen him again, but that was his name. And I go back after I closed my shop down, T-shirt things. I'm just wondering what I'm going to do, I had a rap vehicle that said Top Dollar Records all over it. I'm like, this dude has money everywhere and ain't making no money, So I'm like, this is weird. So I'm like, when I had my record shop, I bought T-shirts from them. That's how I met them. And I noticed the Top Dollar Records T-shirts were selling faster than the CDs. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to just do, with the brand, just do Top Dollar Record stuff. And so I went back to that building after I closed down.
Well, how did you get the name? How did you come up with that name, Top Dollar, first? What made you? Because that's a very iconic name in Austin. So, real quick, what was the story behind choosing that specific name?
The name came, Mia, she was my girlfriend at the time. She's my wife now, Sarah. We're, it was 3 a.m. I'm always up late at night. Not no more now because I take my babies to school every morning. But late at night, I was just always thinking. And I'm like, I need a brand. I need a. If I'm gonna open up a record shop, I need a name. That everybody's gonna like. Because I never like to be. Yeah, I'm gonna open up the biggest Mexican store. I'm gonna open up the biggest black. You know what I'm saying? Like race. Yeah. I never like to put race into anything I do. So I want universal. So I'm like, everybody loves making money. Everybody. So that's the name that I came up with. That was universal.
I see. Okay.
So I'm looking through the phone book and I'm looking. And then the pawn shop thing pops up and it says, we give you top dollar for your trade-ins. And I'm like, top dollar, I like that. And that means it's the highest, that they can give you for, the highest amount. And I'm like, I like that. So that's where the name Top Dollar Records came from.
How many people know that story?
I'm not sure, just probably personal people, really, really personal. I don't really do these interviews or talk to people as much about personal things. I just pretty much put the name out there and...
I'm glad I pulled it out of you because I was curious on that.
That's how it came about, because I needed something universal. Yeah. That's what I wanted. I'm through every race, that's what I'm about. Every race, moving people forward, all that stuff. That's what I'm about. All green, baby. At all time, and then, of course, everybody loves making money. That's what they, So, so I went back to that shop, and I was asking for the artists because I was like, here's my chance. And maybe since I did so well in my record shop selling my T-shirts, maybe I can go back over here and learn some more stuff from him, learn anything. Instead of just ordering shirts, I can learn how to make them. So I went over there and he told me, my friend, a good friend, William Anderson, he says, the guy you're looking for doesn't work here anymore. Oh, wow. And he was like, what do you want? Like, why are you here? Because like I said, I never set up interviews or just go, I just go straight walk in and talk to people. And he's like, what do you want? Why are you here looking for him? I said, well, he said he was going to teach me how to do graphics, and I just been doing some Photoshop here and there. I don't even think it was Photoshop. Maybe it was.
Whatever
it was.
Paint.
I said, I just want to learn, how to do T-shirts. He says, do you know how to do graphics? I said, not really. I'm just learning. He goes, well, we're just going to tell the boss here. His name was Daryl, good friend of mine too. He said, we're just going to tell him, how to do graphics. And I was like, all right, cool. So I go up to Daryl. He's like, hey, this guy's looking for Gino. He knows how to do graphics. And he wants to, get a job here. And I was all right, cool. How much does it pay? Like, I think it was like $7 an hour. Or whatever. I think
it was 2003-ish.
Yeah, 2002. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so it's $7 an hour. So I was like, whatever. So I start getting clients like Dell and all kinds of stuff. It wasn't me. It was his company. Yeah. He was getting the clients. And they would come up to me like, yeah, he's a graphic artist here. And I'm like, how you doing? And, meet them. And they were like, yeah, I want my letters to arch. And I want this. I said, you know what? I'm about to go on lunch. But if you want to leave me some notes here, I'll do it as soon as I get back from lunch. They'll be like, okay. So they will leave. And I'll just be practicing because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Instead of a 1 hour eating a sandwich,
yeah,
it's 1 hour trying to figure out
how to make a letters arch and all that. I'm like, well, how do you... and the guy, I was just inspired by all his artwork. He had stuff with gel on it, and I was just inspired by all his artwork. He was doing big job, Hard Rock Cafe, all this stuff back in the days. Nike, they were doing all kinds of stuff. So and they had the, the raised, I think it's called, I forgot what it's called.
Are they still around, by the way, those two guys?
No, he's not. No, I mean, he's a friend of mine. But no, he's not open for business.
Oh,
that's
okay.
a whole nother
doing
story.
Other stuff. Okay.
He's doing other stuff. And, so that's where I met them. And I told him I want to do shirts. I want to do my own line. Yeah. So I'm like, it's Top Dollar Records. And they're like, all right, cool. Everybody, I saw how everybody liked it. They were like, cool, when I had the record shop. as far as like they liked it as far as buying it, but they didn't like it enough to where it was a brand yet. It was just, you know, that's cool. We know you from the streets here and everything. We're gonna support you. That was cool, but that just goes so long. You know, you can't make a living with, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So from there, I told him I want to learn how to make T-shirts. He had this automatic and all that stuff, and he was like, "All right, cool." And I said, "What if I just buy T-shirts from you wholesale and I go sell them to the stores?" You know, that was in my mind. You know, I want to wholesale all the time. I never wanted to retail because I already had that bad experience with the record shop. So he told me, you know, how about you sell shirts and just bring me all the money? And I was like, all right, I guess we're going to have our differences, you know what I'm saying? Because I want to make my own brand. I don't just want to sell T-shirts. Like
for him. Or
for him or for anything. I want to do my own stuff. So then on Craigslist, we started looking on Craigslist, and I knew what I was looking for now, you know, and I found my first machine on there. I went and picked it up in Bastrop off of, it's like a motorcycle company that was out in Bastrop. And from there, came back, started making my own T-shirts and stuff. Well, later on down the line, about a year later, this was like in 03, 04, a year later, my friend William that was there, he gets laid off and everything. And they have their differences. He's like, you know what? I see you're doing your thing. I have clients. Maybe we can do something together. So that pushed me into city of Austin, you know, like having clients, big clients and stuff. And that really started the whole let me sell to, you know, corporate, you know, organizations, and because of him, you know. So I was like,
so this is now mid 2000s.
This is 2003, 2004.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So from there, I was like, okay, we'll do that. But I said, but I'm starting my brand, so I changed the name from Top Dollar Records to Top Dollar Clothing. That's when I officially started doing my own T-shirts, and I started doing a whole bunch of hood shirts. You know, I met Sam at Video Super. I met Piranha. You know, John and Piranha. You know, I met
Mania, maybe.
I met Music. Yeah, of course, Music Mania. That was another part of
Mike.
that was another part of my my journey as well, because when I had the record shop, I started doing instrumental CDs because I noticed they weren't buying CDs to hear other people rap. They wanted to rap themselves.
They wanted to freestyle themselves.
Yeah, they wanted to freestyle. So that was another part of, you know, making money on that way too, as far as the record side of it.
Yeah.
And so that's when it changed to Top Dollar Clothing, when I actually started selling the hood shirts to everybody, because I was like, East Side's never gonna be gone. It's always gonna be East Austin. Now, I mean, now
it's like East Central or whatever they call it.
Now it's a whole different thing. But so I was looking for longevity, and I was looking to sell wholesale. So I met them. So I'm like, I'm gonna go all the way south. I'm gonna wholesale to Sam over there, Video Super. Yeah. I'm gonna go all the way north, and I'm gonna wholesale to Sports Kingdom, to Tina and Tony there.
Lamar, North Lamar, I think.
So like I can get both, you know, both sides. Yeah. You know, because I was like, that's the way. I never went to school for marketing or for anything like that, but it was common sense to me. Like, if you want to show up the city, hit both sides, and you take care of the center, and it's gonna spread no matter what. It's gonna come in and go. You know, it's gonna move like a ripple effect. One person will hear,
"Hey, where'd you get that shirt? I got it on the north side or south side, or whatever it is." Yeah.
And that's how I made my living. Like, that's how I paid off my, you know, my first house. And then Raymond, again, like I said, he gave me the opportunity to move into another house when my son was born in 06. Eric, when he was born, in 04. I'm sorry. And he gave me the opportunity, since he, you know, I had a relationship with him at the record shop. Even though I went broke, I always paid him. He never said, "Hey, you know, I'm not gonna trust you on this," because every move I make, as every house I bought, is owner finance. It's never been, you know, let me go to the bank. I don't have credit. I don't have, you know, I had a felony when I was younger. It's probably gone by now, all the stuff I did. But as far as that, he gave me an opportunity to move to another house, and that was on the east side. You know, that was in 2-1. I was in 02, and I moved to 2-1.
Okay.
And still doing the brand. And the reason I never wanted to be in front of the camera after all this brand, you know, everything selling, because my mom would always tell me, like, don't do that kind of stuff. She would say, don't get in front of people, or, you know, people are looking to do negative stuff all the time.
Like, just stay low key.
Yeah, so I always listen to my mama all the time. She tell, you know, everything. That's why I stopped posting, you know.
Mijo, no hagas eso, mijo.
Yeah. So she told me stop. So that's why I stayed low key.
Yeah.
So that's why the brand, I was like, I can sell it without even showing my face. And of course, they're buying it from me when I make my relationship with the store owners, and they're buying it directly from me, but they're not buying my face or whatever.
Exactly.
You know.
It's not your face on the t-shirt.
They're just buying the relationship. They're not, you know.
Yeah.
So they're just saying, oh, you can produce, you know, 10,000 shirts, then I want to buy from you instead of these local guys that are, because I went and bought, you know, all kinds of, whenever I dive into something, I dive in all the way. Like I said, I don't want to just do little stuff.
Instead of doing runs of a dozen at a time or 2 dozen at a time. Yeah.
So yeah, so that's when I sold up the city. This doing the hood shirt. I sold up the city.
Mid
So
2000 still.
this was
Or
in
now in the
04.
mood.
This is
Yeah.
in 04.
Starting 05.
Yeah. So in 05, it's when I started doing. I did a booth at the flea market because I was selling
290 maybe.
On Marketplace on Lamar.
Is that Runberg and Lamar? But you go further north,
Across
you
street
take a
from
right.
Chewy's?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. North.
that
Yeah.
one. Yes, we did. Because I was selling so much, we started, selling, the hood shirts there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing that there, and then I'm listening to this whole move. I'm listening to everything. I'm still listening to the South, everything coming out the South, and I keep on hearing Paul Wall saying, "Whut It Dew." It's Paul Wall every time you freestyle, because I got all the relationships from the record shop,
Yep.
knowing all this music and knowing Freestyle Kings and all, and so I started listening to him, and I was like, every time I hear that, I see Mountain Dew. Every time I hear that, in my head, I'm thinking like I said, so again, marketing. When you market, I market it in the slow, in a small volume, as far as north and south. I'm moving units, but I was like, I'm gonna sell outside of Texas, so I started doing Texas-based shirts. So I'm like, I'm gonna sell outside of Texas because I'm already moving around selling instrumental CDs. I got a distribution with different people already. I don't want to say their names because I don't know if they're still doing distribution and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was companies like in Houston, and I was getting my CDs, my instrumental CDs, mass produced. That was, like I said, back with the record shop.
Yeah.
Failing from
Record
there.
days. Yeah.
Yeah, everything that like I said, everything negative, I try to turn to positive. So
Yeah.
failing from there really taught me, So all my, when I'm doing that, so going on that scene. As far as like now, I'm like, yeah, let me think Texas wide, because everybody tries to jump worldwide and this and that. I just wanted to do little bits and pieces at a time, because I was like, I don't want to move around. I have my son now. It was in 04. I have my son. My daughter.
Texas is a big state. A lot of people don't realize how big Texas is.
That's how the whole movement started with all the underground music. I mean,
They were
just selling in Texas, and then it just went worldwide all of a sudden.
Yeah, and see, the thing is, we're so used to Texas. We're like, oh yeah, Dallas, Houston, whatever. But the reality is, like, people from other states, obviously, it's so compacted. Yeah. But there is a lot of markets. I mean, shoot, Houston is like a country in itself, if you stop, or like a state within itself, to be honest, or Dallas, because they all got different vibes. But go ahead about zoning in on Texas first, and the plan behind all of that.
Yeah, the whole marketing behind that was they have Mountain Dew everywhere. It's like all over. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, let me hook up with a DJ. That's moving, that's not moving
around.
No, he wasn't moving around at the time. He was just local. He had a thing called Austin, something. It was Austin, Austin Bay. And he wanted to move around, and he was really good. So I was like, let me hook up with this DJ and let him take care of the mixtape. Because I always want to, every time I do something, I always have another person in mind. This would help benefit this person. This would help benefit this person. So that's what I do, and try to put people in the right in the right parts for what I need. And I was like, I don't want to be a DJ. I was already doing instrumentals. They're thinking I was a DJ. I was like, I don't DJ. I'm just putting this out because there's a market for it and people are looking for it. I would go to Music Mania and tell Mike, I'm going to get some records. And he'd be like, yeah, take whatever you want. Go straight home, put it on CD, put it right back to, that was missing. So they would love it. They were like, yeah, people are coming in to buy your CDs. Mm-hmm. They're not buying records. They're buying CDs. Nobody has a record player unless they're DJs. Yeah. And most of these local guys partying or buying. So I sold a ton of CDs. But yeah, so I wasn't a DJ yet. So I wanted an actual DJ. And he went and, and I told him, I have this shirt. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to put it out until we market it correctly. So the first thing I'm going to do is Mountain Dew is green. The background is green. First thing I'm going to do is make a green shirt and put that on there. Like the first CD is going to be, and then the hottest artist that was out was Chamillionaire. Yeah. He was the hottest one. So it's going to be him. So I was putting all this together.
Yeah, because him and Paul Wall had already separated by this time, I believe.
Yeah,
right?
they were already separated. So I was putting all this together, and I was like, this is how it's gonna go. So we went. I think the pictures. I don't remember the name of the company that gave us actual rights to his picture, but the picture in the skyline in the back was a picture I actually took when we went to Houston. I just took a picture. Okay. I did the whole graphics. I was doing graphics at the time too. I was just trying to get be all up in the mix of everything instead of trying to hire somebody for this and that. So
now you have what, 5 years experience almost of doing graphics.
Yeah,
couple years, 4, 3, 4, 5, whatever it was.
Forever. It's been a long time. Yeah. So that was the movement behind that thing, was to sell, Texas wide, to have a shirt that I can take everywhere.
I see.
And that just took off, like crazy, So that was.
Did you ever Well, let me ask, did you ever fall into any kind of copyright issues, though?
No, never. E40 was even doing like a concert with them a long time ago in '06. This was in '06,
Okay.
'07 when I had the shop. And this was on airport, and then I moved in '07 to the shop on Bastrop Highway.
Okay.
So yeah, no, I never got in because I wasn't selling a drink.
Yeah.
I was
Well, I was just
selling,
curious if they said, well, you know.
they were
it's
actually
kinda...
calling me to do something with them. You know?
Really?
Yeah, I wasn't selling a drink, so it had nothing to do with this. I mean, they caught like wildfire. This was, going everywhere and, just selling Piranha. So the reason Piranha got involved is because Piranha, even being around Rock, I said,
the record store or clothing record and whatever else.
The reason he got involved because I was like, I'm not trying to sell to these people placed, on the internet and sell everything. I'm gonna make it and I'm gonna promote it. Yeah. You're gonna sell it and you talk to all my contacts. So I gave him all my contacts. Everybody, I think it was Mix Unit. They were selling a lot of on the internet. There was a lot of people that were on the internet selling. They were selling numbers. So I gave John all my contacts. Said here, John was just going through them like nothing. I was just I was wholesaling, so he was just going through them, and that was going well and everything. And then I had artists at the time. I was helping other artists, and that was going well. But this whole time, I think people when you do something to help them when they start being successful, I think they kind of feel that they created it. And I tell everybody that I meet, I'm like, there's a driving force behind it, and I'm not going to be the person in front of it. So I made him the
ambassador,
lead,
we'll say, the brand ambassador.
So I said, I'm not going to be the person in front of it because, like I said, I'm listening to my mama what she said. She said, don't be doing this because people are going to get jealous. And I was like, I hope they don't get jealous because everybody that comes to me, I help them, I don't tell them I'm better than you or anything like that. So I tell everybody that's around, I said, but there's a driving force behind anything, Your show doesn't get, anything going unless you're here, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, basically.
So as far as the brand, everything, marketing and all that, I was involved behind the scenes and all that. There's
the brain and I don't want to say the manpower, but the machine that makes it happen. And then there's the flashiness on the outside that the people mainly see.
Yeah, so that's what kind of made me step away from there because it's hard to run, like a business if you have other people taking advantage of you and stuff like that. So I don't want to say it was taking advantage because I never did it for the reason I wanted something back. It was to grow. Like I said, people said, because they were selling music over here, Music Main, and they're like, nobody from Austin sells. I'm like, I don't know why they keep saying that kind of stuff. I was like, all you got to do is put a good product out and people are going to buy it from everywhere. So that was my thing to prove to people, like, you can sell out of the state. It was just out of the city, really.
Yeah.
I was never planning to make it worldwide. Of course you have that in mind, like, but I'm doing something local. But since that whole, that whole movement went on, it just went with it. You know what I'm saying? So everything I do is just to prove to people, like, no matter what you're doing, don't ever put a negative, thought in your mind, like, you can't sell out of Austin. You can't sell. So that was my way of showing people you can sell.
It's just a matter of selling the right thing.
Yeah, the right thing, making the right connections, and keeping the right attitude. Because everything I do is word of mouth, like every single thing. As far as my marketing, of course, but I'm saying as far as my new sales and new customers is all word of mouth. Or I just run into the store and just do that kind of stuff.
And during that time, well, let me ask you, because you had a local artist that obviously I know him as well. He had, I guess maybe was bought or used or whatever deal y'all had worked out, that I don't know. But where he was using for Top Dollar for Top Dollar Records, I believe, correct? So there was another collaboration. So you had one collaboration going with the DJ for the shirts.
Yeah.
You had another collaboration going with the rapper for the actual...
For the music.
Yeah, for the music part. How did that happen real quick?
That happened because when I was doing the graphics, So I was doing graphics for the artist, so I would do graphics for him, and and then he saw all the movement that I had going on with myself. So he's like, and he went to prison and stuff, and he called me from prison. He goes, hey, when I get out, I want to see if you can help me. I was like, of course I can help you.
Yeah.
Like, this is a phone call. He gets out, and I'm like, yeah, I can help you out. So that's how that moved into having an artist under my label instead of just doing the clothing, because of course helping them out also.
Yeah. Okay. So, I was kind of curious on that because, of course, we all know the same people. I was kind of curious of how it organically happened, or because I think he had something going prior. He was like rapping prior under another label.
I like his original music too. We met like that, and like I said, I was doing photos. And the reason I'm not doing names is just because people can do their research and know who I'm talking about, or they can call me or whatever. But as far as the way the contacts I made is because I was doing graphics, photography, and stuff like that.
I see.
And so that's how that happened. And I was like, of course, I'll help you out. And that's how he became the artist on the label.
I see.
And he ran with the label and did his own thing. Like I said, as soon as people were under me, the reason I start that is so they can start their own brand,
I see.
So that's why he was able to do his own thing on there.
How much, let me ask you a question of this. How much do you think you were balancing at the time? Because you had the DJ thing going, you had the rapper thing going, you had your own business that you actually had to run. Because what I call it is pillars of business. The music was one, the DJ thing with shirts was another one. Then you have obviously like organizations and such that you're buying your shirts and you're doing the wholesaling. Do you feel like as a young business owner, obviously at the time, I'm assuming you were in your, mid-20s?
I was 26 and
26-ish, because we're roughly the same age. Did you feel like, damn, I'm getting overwhelmed with all this stuff happening at once? Or do you think you balanced it pretty well for the resources you had and the support around you? Or was it like everything falls back on you? Because I know when you're at the top of an organization, when it all comes down to you, there's no one else to blame, is what I've learned. It's like every decision is because, well, Carlos said we're going to do it like this.
Yeah.
Well, Carlos approved it. Well, Carlos this. But at the time, did you feel like you were in way over your head? Or did you feel like you had it under control?
No, I've never felt that way. I've always felt... That's why, like I said, I have other people do, know. I want them to start their own brand and do their own thing. So that's why I never got overwhelmed, because I never had...
Like you're a launch pad for them.
Yeah, I was never their boss or nothing like that. They consider me like in charge of them, but I was never in charge of them.
I see,
it was pretty much a free-for-all. Like, you make your money over here, you make your money over here. So that's what I wanted to... That's what I always want to do. Like, I always want anybody I teach to become greater than what I've ever taught them and do other things, because there's throughout this whole thing, like I said, the reason I'm not naming names, because there's so much people that I've done stuff throughout this
years,
journey, through this journey, and that's why I never felt overwhelmed because of that reason, because I'm not doing it so that they can be under me. I'm doing it so they can be their individual. So whatever they did on their own, I applaud them for it.
Yeah. So y'all, the music had its run, the DJ with the t-shirts had its run. At what point did you start saying like, maybe I need to focus more on the next step for me personally, whether it was some of the real estate investments you had done, or whether it was branching out now to I don't want to say boss up or level up, but to start bringing in bigger price points because now obviously you just recently bought an entire building, and you bought the building, you have people that you rent out space, which is a smart move, by the way, as long as you got room for them, where they basically return the money back that you put into the investment. Smart move, but it also gives them an opportunity to be able to do what they want to do and start somewhere. And I see this pattern from you, which it's really cool because someone gave you an opportunity, you grew from that, and then now it's like you have created something for yourself and you give people an opportunity, because everybody starts somewhere, and they might start in the corner of your, I don't know how many square feet it is, but in the corner of your building, and then eventually they grow and then get a bigger space and buy their own building and whatever. But at what point did you say, maybe there's another category of business and printing or fabrication that I need to get into? Like, roughly what year was that, and what made you make that jump and say, that's what I need to get into?
I've been doing T-shirts for the whole time. Like, the reason I changed into doing more corporate and, stuff for ACC and stuff like that was because, like I said, I like people to do their own thing. And the reason I changed because they kind of don't remember why they're there. You know what I'm saying? Like, the situation they're there. And I wanted to, instead of doing negative stuff or anything like that, I wanted to just step away from it. So every time I see anything happening like that, I step away from it. And I start doing my own thing. So that's what happened when I transitioned. And I said, you know what, let me focus on my kids. My son was 2 years old and my daughter was just born. And I was like, let me focus, and my wife, I was like, let me focus on them instead of focusing on people that are not really, doing exactly the game plan. They're moving on their own.
They're not following the program.
They're not following it. So that's what made me change into into doing the more and that's when I really just stepped away from promoting and everything, because it happened with close people, so I'm like, let me just step away from this,
like the more urban type of vibe that you have going on. I see.
That's why I stepped away from it, because of that, because I was like, no, I mean, I'm not in charge of anybody, I'm not trying to be in charge of anybody, but it's just not going in the direction I want to go with.
I see.
So I stepped back and just started doing corporate and just being with family, man. I took, and it was because of that reason. I was like, yeah, I want to see my kiddos. I don't want to see, So I never missed a field trip, never missed, anything, award show or anything for my kids.
Yeah, that's good.
Me and my wife, she's my backbone. She supports everything, that I do.
20 years now, or how many years?
Yeah, 20. We just recently got married about 5 years ago, but
together, 20
together,
years,
yeah.
Wow.
Since '99, we've been together. She's been
21.
Yeah, she's been through this whole journey with me.
She's in the ups and the downs, brother.
She's been through the whole journey with me, and so that's where everybody tells me I leave stuff behind. I'm like, they're like, how are you gonna leave this brand that you made and do this now? I said, because there's a driving force behind everything. If I'm gonna drive all my energy towards this way, this is what I'm going to do, because nobody made me over here. I made myself over here so I can do it again over here. So that's what made me transition to that. And I'm like, I'm going to be a family man now.
Yeah.
And this was in '07. So I've been away from the scene for a long, '08, I'm sorry.
Well, at least away from
as far
the urban vibe type of scene, right?
Pretty much every scene. I was just doing contract work. I was just contract, but still selling, to Sam, Video Super, still selling to him and selling to John, just doing contract work. I wasn't doing any promoting, because I was like, it kind of leaves like, I don't want to say, like I said, negative stuff, but it kind of doesn't want, you don't want to go towards that direction.
It opens the door for things to come in.
So I'm really glad that happened, because I was able to just focus on my family. And then they're like, how are you going to make money? I said, because I can change it at any time. I'm going to sell corporate now. And they're like, I guess your whole life is over here. I said, maybe you can't do it, but anything I put my mind to, I believe I can do it.
Hustlers always find a way, dude.
Yeah, anything.
That's hustlers always find a way.
So this has been going on forever. A year ago, I've been watching all this Instagram, Facebook. My kiddos are teenagers now, so they're on this stuff. And a year ago, I told them this. Now we're talking about what I'm doing now, and a year ago I told them, and I've been telling them, I know those people, I know the artists, I know these people. I was like, and we can catapult a new brand into, or reestablish the brand. But I was like, if I do Top Dollar again, then I have all these people still, where I feel like maybe they feel I owe them, or maybe they feel they owe me. I don't want any
or
negative.
They still want to be in the mix, but you don't want that energy around.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want that energy, or I don't want to feel like, well, let's just do that name again. Let's do. I was like, nothing. I said, so now I found out a long time ago people were buying because they wanted that personal connection I made with. So like, I'm just gonna, now that I'm started fabricating, I moved on to signs. From the T-shirts, I moved on to signs. I started every time I see something, I move on to a different thing. So I was like, if I'm gonna reestablish myself as a brand, I'm gonna move into a whole different thing. Like,
and some of these are high dollar signs. These aren't $25 magnets that you put on the truck. I mean, sometimes people want smaller jobs, of course, but some of the bigger signs are, thousands of dollars, I believe, right?
Yeah, they're. I saw that, that niche in there, that it was like, well, they don't have a normal person. I always consider myself a normal person you can just talk to. I know some people feel they can't talk to me, but the people that know me personally, they're like, oh, shoot, they call me in the middle of the night, like, hey, I need this and that, and I'm like, yeah, that's cool, So I want to have that that connection with my friends and customers.
Compared to calling the help desk, and the operator, and then this girl, then you go through 5 different people.
And that's what I think has kept me in the loop with people, because we've had that connection, that personal connection, instead of a business connection. I always make everything personal. So I was telling my kids and my wife at the kitchen table, I was like, I'm going to start a whole new company. And I was like, and I'm going to show you guys that it can be done. Because if I go back to my original plan, it's just like piggybacking my original plan, and it won't teach you anything. So I had to come up with a whole new thing, and I'm like, I'm gonna make it personal. I'm just gonna make it my initial CH customs. Everything I'm doing now is custom for that. For that, whatever it could be, event or customer or anything. So of course, thinking universal again, I'm like, well, I can't just name it personal, because then people are just gonna be like, why would they wear a shirt? I don't have my shirt on, but I'm always wearing blank shirts. They're like, why would you? why would people wear it? You know, you got to have a reason why people do stuff. So like, why
Yeah.
would, you know, of course people, your grandma, you know, stuff like that. That's normal. Your best friends and everything. That's normal. But the reason I put the logo, I was messing around with the logo, and I'm trying to get anybody to just do a logo for me. It's hard for me to get people to do work for me because they say my standards are so high. I'm like, they're not high. I just want somebody to do my
More
work.
quality, man.
Yeah, I
That's
just
it.
want. It doesn't even have to be. I just want it done, you know. And so I'm doing, you know, I'm going through people, and they're sending me some stuff. CH Custom. It looked like a jewelry store to me, and I'm like,
I see.
it doesn't fit me. And then I was like doing the initials, and then it turned into a dollar sign, and I'm like, well, it's kind of the same, you know. People are still relate because you still gotta be, you know,
Yeah.
people still gotta get, you know,
Have that unique little
Yeah.
twist or whatever it could be.
So I'm just doing that, and I talk to, you know, I show my family. I'm like, this is the new logo we're gonna go with. You know, this is how we're gonna go. This logo is for the brand, for the T-shirt, the universal thing that I can sell to customers. You know, and the CH Custom. That's why I always tag with the CH Customs. That will be towards the signs and towards everything. So now I'm doing a, like, kind of like a double, like a brand, you know.
Okay.
One is going towards, you know, the customer, the wear, you know, the clothing. I fabricate, you know, got everything fabricated. Now I moved into fabrication because I said if I did it before just by screen printing, I was like, and I made a killing. I was like, imagine this time when I'm into actually fabricating the clothes, you know, fabricating the signs. And the reason I got into the signs is to fabricate my displays for the, you know, for the stores. And I was like, so that's why I was like, let me move into that. And the reason I do other people's signs is to pretty much use that money and use it towards my you know, my ideas and all that stuff. So everything.
Some of the merchandising in stores is really cool, man.
Yeah.
And I said, man, that's dope how they got the shirts there or whatever. But when you are the shirts and you are the manufacturer of the merchandising, whatever it could be, the unit, the shipper, well, I'm not shipper, but whatever it is, I see the display.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
So yeah, in every aspect of business, I think the reason fail is because they don't know every aspect of their own business. So I try to learn every single part. I wish I didn't have to. I can just hire people to do it, but I'm not very satisfied with getting some low quality sometimes. And you know, whenever people see stuff and they put my name, you know, or my face, and you know, the people that know me personally, they know my face.
Yeah.
These are all new people. Everybody seeing me now is probably like, I never knew it was him. I saw him walk through the store, just quieted, you know, just walk through, and people were like, I don't know, some dudes just here and they're like, okay.
They know the name, they know the brand, but they don't.
Like,
They never
okay.
put it to a face. Yeah.
So I mean, that happens a lot. So it's cool. So now I'm telling my kiddos, I say, if people want to see, you know, the image. This is all. Everything I'm doing now is for my kids, you know, so they can see a whole new brand start over. Like that's the reason
total rebrand.
Yeah, that's the reason I even came with you, you know. And I was like, I want to, you know, give people an opportunity to see, and it's for my kids, and of course to show people, you know, in the streets, you can come out of any
wherever
negative
you
stuff.
came from.
Yeah, anything you came from, and just make, you know, a good life out of it, you know, instead of trying to be negative and trying to stay, I'm gonna stay. And the reason I moved to Round Rock was for my kids again.
Yeah.
I'm in the
School
east side, and I'm
maybe,
like, I'm AISD, and I'm like, my son's about to start middle school, and my daughter's in elementary. I'm gonna move him, you know, over there. And then again, Raymond, you know, his dad, you know, since his dad, he gave me the opportunity at the house, another, you know, so he's been a very influential part in my business, and as far as living, you know, as far as everything. So yeah, and that's pretty much where I'm at now, is fabricating for high-end customers, the regular, you know, regular friends of mine customers. You know, of course, some of my regular friends are not really, they're pretty big time, you know, but they're personal friends of mine. You know, they're winning Grammys and winning this and that, but they're like, you know, we're on a phone call away, and they're like, yeah, do this for me, let's do this, let's, you know. I just collaborated with another one, you know, another one of my friends just last week, and we're doing, you know, different stuff. And I'm trying to give back to the community and give back my knowledge to, I guess, like I said, starting entrepreneurs and just anybody I can influence. And that's pretty much what, you know, what we're heading towards right now. That's the goal for the new year, as far as marketing, as far as, you know,
helping people out.
Yeah, just making moves and, you know, making stuff happen.
Yeah, because, and that's one of the things where I like to do what I do, is because somebody watching, especially this episode in particular, they could say, man, I have a felony and I don't know what to do. Or a good example, actually, about 2 months ago, I was doing I think I went 4 or 5 times to the Del Valley, Travis County Correctional Facility. And I'm in there doing a business presentation, right? I would go once a month and go do my thing. And I had guys in there that, of course, they're like, well, I got a felony on me from before, and I got this, I got that. No one will hire me. I'm like, dude, now you can go to Amazon or eBay,
Yeah.
download the app. You can just resell. People on the internet that are buying a product, let's say, for example, flipping shoes or whatever. I had a client, his wife has a cookie company. He would buy books. He's got a job, city of Austin, but on the side, he was buying books from garage sales for like 25 cents, 50 cents. And he was making like $1,500 a month selling books on Amazon, used books. So obviously, they don't care if you did 10 years for attempted murder. They're not checking your rap sheet, but it's a matter of anybody saying, what opportunity is there, and do I have enough drive to take that opportunity, or am I just going to sit there and complain how it's everybody else's fault but my own?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like even people listening to your story, there are kids, whether it's east side, south side, north side, black, white, Asian, it doesn't matter. Everybody can make mistakes regardless of what caliber or the scale that mistake was at, but it's up to them to decide, do I want to fix this mistake, not just for them personally, but for their kids as well.
Yeah.
And I like that you mention your kids a lot, because that's the situation I'm in now too, is I got a 22 and a 10-year-old, and I'm like, yo, I got to do this stuff with property or houses or whatever it is to be able to say, hey, this is for y'all.
Yeah.
But no, I like that mentality that you have. But we'll wrap it up here in a few minutes, but let me ask you, so adding on to everything you've said, what exactly is your next step? Because you've got currently, of course, the fabrication of the signs go on. You're still doing printing. You've brought in other local entrepreneurs, giving them chances, or not chances, but opportunities to be able to operate out of a building that you bought, which is really cool, by the way. I think I was actually with you the day that you got the key and the deed or whatever.
Yeah. You were with.
Yeah, I was with, or the title, whatever. I was with you that day. But what do you see currently is your next accomplishment that you have to make happen?
I think my next accomplishment would be just setting up a station. I guess it would be the new shop,
Okay.
where people could come in and pretty much see how everything is done, you know. Like I said, now, and I want to start videos and showing people how stuff is fabricated. Everything I do, I want to teach people. My mom always told me, you know, like I said, I always go back to my mom because I listen to her a lot. So she always told me, like, why would you...
How, did she say mijo a lot? Or?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
She said, why would you teach everybody what you do? All through my whole career that I've been doing this, I teach everybody every single move. I never hide anything from. This is where I get this. That's what a lot of people appreciate about me. And I'm like, I don't do it for anything in return. I do it to show people that it's possible. And that's, you know, everything I do. So my mom always told me, like, why would you teach everybody your secrets? I said, because there's a driving force behind everything. And if I'm not doing it, then that's going to be their thing, you know. So anything I taught them, if they're going to do, you know, whatever they're going to do, that's their thing. It has nothing to do with me, you know.
But it also makes you feel good at the end of the day.
Yeah,
to where,
yeah, of course.
I'm not saying that's your what do you call it, your contribution to society, but by giving somebody something and not expecting nothing in return, that's a good feeling. I've done it before many times also. It's like, I'm going to give you the game. It's up to you to go do something with it. But don't say I never did nothing for you, because I'm telling you exactly how to go make a lot of money. Yeah. It's up to you to take it or not.
Yeah, and it'd be better to interview people, I guess, that I've helped out, because they're probably better at doing interviews. Cause,
but
as far as telling that story, because my story, I go from parts and parts. You know, I'm not telling the whole detail, and there's other people who elaborate on details, and I really like that about them. But I wanted to show people, you know, that even stuff like this, you know, you can, I don't know, something that's very new to you, you can just step up and do it. It doesn't have to. You don't have to plan for it. Business, anything you don't plan for, you just do it, you know, and go with it and see where it takes you. And if it takes you to bankruptcy, almost like my first startup did, that's good. You know, you grow from that.
Yeah, you learn, and that's one thing that I personally like about business, because one, all of us have our history of whether it was the crowds that we were with, the investments we made, the money we lost, regardless of what it falls under. Yeah. We all have our history, but stop and think about, because this is where I do this literally every week. I look at everything I've done in the past, and I look at it as a prerequisite for what I'm doing now. It gave me that experience. So you being in there, not knowing what to do as a graphic designer, being basically fresh out of jail, you know, damn near, you now, let's say you have a kid walk in, 18 years old, said, I'm looking for a job, or can you, because that was you at one point.
Yeah.
but it's also a matter of what to look for when when they're trying to run game and cut corners
Yeah.
or whatever it is, because quality, like you say, quality being so high, but it's also like just meet this level and you're good, because you need A players around you.
Yeah, yeah.
If they're not rock star A players, then they're not cut to be on your team to begin with.
Yeah.
But no, I really like that about the way you operate, the way you see things, and also how you've been just more laid back about it all. Because I know, you've made a lot of money in your career, and there's plenty of guys that just want to go show off all the money that they're making, and the brands speak for themselves. And I like for the fact that, even being top dollar, there's no jewelry. I don't see a fancy watch. I don't see a fancy chain. I don't see no fancy earrings. Maybe you put it all on when you get home, but I doubt it. But I really do respect that of you, where you're like, look, let me just make sure I'm good and my family's good.
Yeah.
All the other stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's a matter of constantly creating. So to start closing it out, is there anything else in particular that you just wanted to touch on, bring up, something that I haven't brought up or anything?
No, not really. I just hope this story inspires, people to do what they love, because that's the only reason you're successful too. If you do what you love, and I love this, I love everything about it. The game stays the same, the players change, but I love everything about
Pretty
it.
much.
Yeah, so hopefully that's inspire my kids, inspire, everybody, relationships too, my wife, everybody to, pretty much be humble towards everybody. It doesn't, just because you're dealing with high-end clients doesn't mean you have to act a certain way, way or anything. I mean, that's my whole thing, is to show people that you're able to do this kind of stuff. You don't have to brag about it or anything like that. You can do it in the background, or you can show your face like I am now. There's ways of doing stuff as long as you're putting out positive vibes all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I want to show people, is pretty much show people. And no matter what happened in the past, I'm still here to help people. Anybody that comes and calls me, that I have my cell phone number for, I don't know, 15, 20 years.
I had mine the same.
Yeah, same
2003,
number.
baby,
So I've had
17.
the same number. Yeah, so people can reach me whenever they say I haven't seen you in forever. I'm like, I've had my same number. If you ever wanted to see me or anything. Now I just on social media, I'm really appreciative of all the friends that I have, and all, because people have like thousands and hundreds of thousands. I'm barely reaching 500. I'm like, every single person on there I know.
You actually know,
they're doing that because I actually know them, and we had a relationship one way or another. We've been doing stuff together, so I'm pretty, excited.
It's authentic.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that, and that's all I want to do, is just motivate people. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's all I'm here for. And if I hide from people, or whatever people want to call it, I'm easy to find. I'm not hiding nowhere. I'm a phone call away all the time. I keep my phone's right there. I keep this is a new logo, by the way. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. This is the new logo.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. It can catch. Yeah, it sees it.
Yeah. So I mean, I always have my phone on me. So appreciate all the love and support from everybody, and I appreciate you for having me on.
Yeah, no doubt.
Like I said, it's the first time doing this, and hopefully we grow from here. We'll see maybe another time, on another time, and we'll see the next step. As far as the step now, it's just to help other people and build a platform for people to showcase their talent, pretty much.
Yep.
So anybody out there that wants to showcase, their work, you can send it to me, and I can see it and give them positive review or negative review, whatever, and whatever they want to hear. If they want to hear something positive,
or how can they get better?
Or how can
because everybody, a lot of times, especially with creatives, depending on how they package it up and send it to them, that might be the best. But for the level they're currently at, But as you level up, your quality gets better as well.
And you won't ever know until you put your product out there. You won't ever know if it's if it's gonna be a hit or not. So the best thing is just produce product. That's what I'm doing now, just producing. And now, like I said, I'm producing all these high-end signs and everything. It just comes naturally to me. I don't know why. It's just a natural gift that I guess God gave me. And
well, thank God He made you talented at that.
I take it I use it to my advantage, and I use it to my advantage to help people. I don't use it as a negative thing. I know they say the root of all evil is money, but I don't believe that, because there's a lot of foundations out there helping a lot of people.
Yep.
So that's where
it's what you do with the money.
Yeah, that's where I put my energy at. I believe a lot of the energy and everything, vibes, positive vibes. So that's where I put my energy. Even before the interview, like we spoke, it was probably going to be, pulling teeth and stuff. But I'm glad we did it, and hopefully people get influenced by it. And that's what I want to leave people with.
Well, very good. You saw him here first. This is a rare interview, by the way. Carlos Hernandez of CH Customs, right here on the Heat Tank. Like, subscribe, do what you have to do. Share it with somebody. For those of y'all that see it that either know Carlos or me personally and say, hey, y'all got to hear the story, man. I never knew that, or I didn't know this, I didn't know that. Share it on your pages and let the world see some of the game and some of the knowledge, and an inspiring story, by the way. Hamid Yaz, Heat Tank with Carlos Hernandez.
Thank you.